Let's do this. But first, beneficial information will be thrown up on the screen right there. You're going to want to check that out. Look into that. It's nice and juicy information there. And yeah, let's get started. I write these last lines before I lose my mind for good. I cannot allow the truth to die with me. I have to remember. I am Inspector Ricky Fox. Arthur Petrovsky. His death? It was no suicide. And that's just one small detail of this case. The others, I can feel them closing in. I don't have much time before they... The blood. My memory is clouded, but I have to remember. I also want to mention before I keep going here is that this game has full controller support, and this is the first time I've ever used controller on these types of games, so we'll try them out, see how they got it going. There's a back button in the top left screen there. Okay, so that shows what you... There's that and that. So yeah, it all began 6 months ago. I was happy. I'd just been promoted to the rank of detective in a quiet neighborhood. I don't know that I like controller support, but I mean, it is what it is. I was married to a wonderful woman, Jody. We've decided to start a family. Chris, my son, are you safe? And then the news struck us like a slug in the jaw. Our best friend, Arthur Petrovsky, was dead. Jody was inconsolable. Our ties with him had been pretty stretched since he'd moved to the other end of the country, but still we couldn't accept the results of the inquiry. Suicide? It was so out of character. On June 30th, we received his ashes with no explanation. Apparently, Jody and I had been listed with the insurance as his only emergency contacts. I tried to find out more through the internal police files. I ignored protocol and even asked my colleagues for a few favors. Nothing checked out. The investigation had been led by a team from the Bureau, and they'd locked everything down. Something about the case smelled wrong. What would the feds have to do with the death of a small-town doctor in the middle of nowhere? In a last-ditch effort, I picked up the phone and called Arthur's local police station. Did you hear the vibration? I got the sheriff, Jonna Walter. She wasn't thrilled with the idea, but she finally agreed to let me take a look at the file. Even though it was no way official, I fully intended to seize the opportunity to do my own investigating. I took some leave and jumped into my car. If only I'd have known what was there waiting for me. Echoes, Episode 1, period. Green Hearth. Let's see if I can actually... Oh, I can. I think it's better to click. I'm going to try that. I'm going to unplug the controller, and hopefully it doesn't do anything. Okay. There we go. I played the first few minutes with the controller. Didn't really like it. Arthur had lived in Green Hearth, a small town at the other end of the country, sandwiched between two nature reserves. It might have been a backwater, but the surroundings were magnificent. Great forests of pine and oak clung to the sides of the mountains that overhung the valley. The town was accessible by a single road that bypassed the reservoir dam, which provided the region's power, before winding down to join the main street. It didn't take me long to find the precinct. A few minutes later, I was stepping through the door. Whoa! Gianna Walter was a frosty woman who didn't like a job poorly done. The first thing I noticed as I approached her desk were her arctic blue eyes that stared at me with disturbing intensity. Wow, they are blue. Look at that. Detective Fox, I presume. I'm Sheriff Gianna Walter. Good to meet you. You too. Dr. Petrovsky and I were very close. His death, especially in these circumstances, was a big shock to my wife and me. As for the inquiry, look, Detective, I understand you're grieving for your friend, but I assume everything was done by the book. You can see for yourself. Really? Weren't you surprised that the Bureau was looking into this case? Yes, the Bureau took case seriously. One more reason to trust their conclusions, don't you agree? In theory, this kind of incident was dealt with by the local police, except in exceptional cases. I was pretty sure the sheriff was aware of that, which led me to believe that she wasn't going to be very cooperative. I predicted that she'd let me take a glance at the file and nothing more. Well, anyway, I guess you must be pretty tired from your journey. I took the liberty of booking you a room at the Golden Sky. Maybe you'd like to get some rest before you get started. I don't know why I read it like that. Yeah, I do. That's a great idea, thanks. I can see you've thought of everything. I always do. I'll drop by and see you later. You know where to find me? She turned away, cutting the conversation. There was nothing left for me to do except find out the hotel's address. I could always come back later to look at the file and ask her a few questions. Located on the lakeside, the Golden Sky was a plush lodge-style building. Jody, I would have loved to take you to a place like that. The summer season had begun, but the hotel was still almost empty. Strange. I'd hardly gotten through the door when I was warmly welcomed by a plump man cheerfully trotting down the stairs. So that's what you call it, plump. Ernest Bull, the hotel manager. I recall his smile. Hello, and welcome to the Golden Sky. Detective Fox, I presume. Glad to have you here. I don't think that's his voice. I don't really know how to do his voice. Good to meet you. I see you're well informed. Oh, news gets round fast in our little town. You can leave your bags here. I'll have them taken up to your room. Great. Can I do anything else for you? You can investigate. Questioned Ernest Bull. Detective Fox. What can I do for you? Investigate. Okay, I just did that. What is happening? This, I guess. I'd like to see the case file. Have you got any leads? What was your relationship with Dr. Petrovsky? Can you tell me more about the circumstances surrounding the death? This one. He was found in the bathtub, bled dry. The case should have been dealt with by the local police. That doesn't sound like the Arthur I knew. What do you know about the autopsy report? The feds took care of everything. I didn't see the report, but they confirmed that there was no possible doubt. And what about the cremation? Arthur had always said he wanted to be buried in his family vault. That's the procedure here. I'm sorry I can't tell you more. Arthur knew the risk when he accepted the job in Greenheart. The procedure? That seems strange to me, but I didn't push it, especially so soon in my investigation. I figured I'd have the other ways finding out more without putting the sheriff on the spot. Just one last thing. Who found the body? I did. You? What were you doing in his house? Or home? When he didn't show up at his practice, I decided to go in his apartment. That's how I found him. I'd like to see the case file. Of course, however, I should warn you, there's not much to see. What does that mean? Most of the documents, like the autopsy report, for example, were requisitioned by the feds. Come on, I'll show you the few pieces they left behind. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm very much engaged with this game, and I'm going to hit this main menu button right here. It won't let me save it. That's going to suck. It should leave me right there, though. Yeah, see? Continue. So it did save it. Well, the reason I wanted to do this is because I want to leave you wanting more of this demo. It's as simple as that. I don't want to complete the whole thing and then you not have enough left to complete. But yeah, I'll throw that beneficial information back up on the screen from the beginning of the game right there. Gonna want to check that out, look into that. And yeah, definitely recommend this demo for sure. Yeah. So if you like what you see, consider liking and subscribing for more content just like this, where we play both new and old games you may not know about, as well as deals you may not know about in genres that you might just not know about. Or you just never got into them really. This was Echoes, the demo.